What's your vocation? Well, if you're a follower of Jesus, your vocation is to be like him. Some folks say our vocation is practical holiness. I like that. It's just vague enough and just personal enough. Now, we're here to talk about bivocational churches. And vocation is the first part. What's the second? Work. I define work rather loosely. Mostly it's what we do to support ourselves financially. I was a seminary professor for 26 years. That was my work. It paid the bills. Now I'm retired. For many people, retirement is their job. It's what they do. I get money from Social Security and a retirement account to support myself. I also work part-time. I pastor a church, and I perform music. It's work being retired. If you're 14 years old, chances are your work is being a student. Some people, women and men, work as homemakers. All those things are what we do to support ourselves and our families. At all times, we get to practice our vocation alongside our work. The most famous example is that of Brother Lawrence, the guy who wrote The Practice of the Presence of God. He was a Parisian monk who became known for the joy he found in recognizing God in the everyday things he did, like washing pots and pans in the monastery. The work and the presence of God went hand in hand. My first year of Bible college, I had a friend. His name was Harold. Harold dropped out of Bible college after that first year. We kind of lost touch, but he dropped out to become a truck driver. Interesting change of career. As I said, we lost track after about a year, but a few years back, we got in touch again. I'm not quite sure who found it, probably through social media, but we wound up meeting at a truck stop not too far from where I live. We talked for the first time in decades. Harold told me about his life as a truck driver and what a great way it was to minister. There were times when he was first on the scene of an accident and got to render first aid or at least be a comfort to the people there. He talked about conversations he had in truck stop diners with other truck drivers or with just people who were there late at night and needing a place to get warm. It seemed that everywhere Harold went, God went with him, even in his work. In my meeting, we have a very active member who's a hairstylist. She even owns her own shop. She doesn't preach, she doesn't proselytize, but she's a good listener. She lives out her vocation by being the presence of God at her work, a place where people often come to share their burdens. You see where I'm going with this. Each of us has been called to a vocation. It's a calling to follow Jesus and to live out our lives by his example. It's a calling to be what Lutheran pastor Nadia Bolz-Weber has named accidental saints. It's a calling to practice holiness right where we are, right in the middle of everyday life, even on the job. Now, what if we took this one step further? What if we recognized the old Quaker concept of everyone being a minister? Minister? Yes, one who, alongside their vocation of practical holiness, and alongside or sometimes with their work, performs acts of ministry in church or also in the community, maybe in the meeting house, maybe in some place in town. Ministry. What is it? I think ministry is the ways that we serve God and our neighbors. It's done by ministers. Here's some examples. Jerry pastors a church just east of Indianapolis. He preaches sermons, visits the sick, and homebound, performs weddings, funerals, the typical pastor stuff. He also assists his church and another congregation in collecting and refurbishing furniture to be given to people in need, like after a fire or a tornado. He gets paid for most of his work, but he does a lot of things for others that will never get him a paycheck. Elena plays drums and sings with her family, who are worship leaders at a Baptist church. She's also a very talented mallet percussionist who plays in the college percussion ensemble, even though she's only in high school. She has a T-shirt bearing the inscription, "As for me and my drums, we will serve the Lord." Every rim shot in the marching band, every note from her marimba is Elena doing ministry. Some of it makes people smile. Some of it stirs their souls. All of it reflects Elena's desire to serve God, using her talent to minister to others. Tom fixes stuff. At his church, when a light bulb needs changing, a shrub needs trimming, or a toilet needs unclogging, Tom's there. In the community, when someone needs a ride or some help around the house, Tom's there. Sometimes Tom even calls his pastor with a suggestion for something that they can do in the community. And then Tom often is the one who does it or supervises the doing of it. See, Tom's a minister. Oh, he's retired on a disability from whatever job he had before, but he ministers where he is, at church or in the community. We all know ministers. Some get paid in dollars or shillings or pesos. Some receive gifts of vegetables or cornmeal as compensation. Most do it for love. We all are ministers. So the Bible and our books of faith and practice tell us. Along with living out our vocation as followers of Jesus and doing whatever it is that pays the bills or runs our homes or enriches our minds, we serve God and our neighbors as ministers. Now, where do we get the energy for this multivocational life? Well, for that, we'll turn to the driving force of multivocationalism: spiritual gifts.